Hi all, welcome to my channel Positive Vibes 21 and to this video where we will talk about Agile Scrum Master Certification and the related practice questions and answers. Obviously, it's a quick guide for your exam preparation in case you want to revise your concepts before you really appear for the exam because certification exam is really tricky sometimes. So I would recommend that you do all the prep work at your end, and then as a quick guide, you can go through my videos, which will be a quick test as well, whether you are able to answer the related questions correctly or not. And most of the times, the question would be kind of similar. Okay, people keep on asking this question whether the same questions will come in the exam or not. So it's not possible actually to guess the questions which will be coming up in this exam. But yeah, these are the similar questions. Sometimes it might be coming from the same set of questions. Sometimes it could be really slightly twisted. So the concept would be same more or less. So I would recommend that do proper preparation before really appearing for the exams. And to get the reality check, you can try answering the questions as you go on with the video. Okay. So let's start and we'll see whether agile concepts and scrum concepts which you have learned so far, are you based on those, are you able to answer the questions correctly? So this is the first question. When handling team dynamics, what should the scrum master do? So as you know, the scrum master has quite a good responsibilities on his shoulder. It's a thankless job, in fact, because you have to work as a facilitator and you really work as a bridge between team and the higher management. And there are different aspects to the role of a scrum master. So let's try to answer this question. When handling team dynamics, what should the scrum master do? There are four options. Empower the team members within appropriate limits. Within appropriate limits, because we don't have any authority with the scrum master, because he's a facilitator, he's a bridge. So how he can empower the team members, right? Encourage an environment of competition and personal advantage. Give clear directives to the team about what they should do and how. Then the last, expect team members to be proactive and work on their own priorities and objectives. So I'm sure you can guess the right answer, and then we can see whether that is correct or not. So the right answer is the first one. Empower the team members within appropriate limits. Okay. Next question. A good approach to documentation in Scrum is, so as we all know, Scrum and Agile, people do not really like to document, and obviously they want to work on the real product and then deliver it as soon as possible. So they say that okay, instead of documentation, probably talk to the person and then get it done. But sometimes it's a good idea to do at least some sort of documentation. So what is the right answer on this question out of these four options? Do no documentation because it's a waste of time? Nah, I don't feel so. This is not the right answer. Do sufficient documentation to prove you have done a good job? That is also not the right answer. You don't have to prove to anyone. Do more documentation than usual because agile is risky. That is completely opposite. And the second one is do the necessary documentation to support the development and use of the product. So I think this is the right answer. Let's see. Yeah. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. So which statements of this following is a description of the sprint? So basically, we always talk about sprints when we work on agile projects and Scrum, right? So usually, sometimes it's 2 weeks of sprint, sometimes it's 3 weeks, right? And in the sprint, we perform a lot of Scrum ceremonies. So we all are aware about that. But when we say sprint, so out of these four options, which one is a description of the sprint? First one, sprint is a condensed amount of time where a developer works as many hours as they would need to. Okay. Okay, we'll come to that. A sprint is a second option is a sprint is a pre-specified amount of time, that is like 2 weeks or 3 weeks maybe, in which the developers team work at a sustained pace to complete a chosen set of items from the product backlog. Okay. The sprint is a fixed amount of time set aside for team to run tests and fix any outstanding bugs right before the product ships. Interesting. The last one, a sprint is a pre-specified period of time during which team members choose individual items from the product backlog to work on. As each item is completed, a new item is brought into the sprint. So basically it is saying that, okay, you take one by one. I don't think it works that way. So looking at these four options, obviously you can rule out few options clearly, right? And then reach out to the right answer. So guess the right answer and then we'll see whether it's correct or not. The right answer is the B, second option. The sprint is a pre-specified amount of time in which the developers, so pre-specified amount of time that shows that, okay, your sprint duration is fixed. And then within that duration, your team work as a, at a sustained pace to complete a chosen set of items from the product backlog. Because during the sprint planning, we pick the amount of work we have to complete, in that sprint. So I think this is making more sense. That's the right answer for this one. Let's move on. What does not belong to the Agile Manifesto's main pillars? Okay, so there are main pillars described as part of Agile Manifesto. So out of these, we need to tell which one doesn't belong to them, right? So individuals and interactions over the process and tools. I'm sure when you'll read it, you'll remember those main pillars. Working software over comprehensive documentation, process over people, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So please guess the right answer and then let's match it with the answer here. Yeah, so the right answer is third one, process over people. Correct? I think it is the other way around. So that's why this option C is the correct answer for this question. Let's move on. Which of the following is the most characteristic of a Scrum Master? Obviously, a Scrum Master has different characteristics. So which one is the most close to Scrum Master? Task focused, process oriented, supportive, disengaged. I think it's straightforward. Let's see. You can pick one answer and then see whether it's right or not. So the right answer is C, supportive. He has to be supportive. I think so. That is the most important characteristic of a Scrum Master. Scrum Master should be supportive. If he's not supportive enough, obviously team will hesitate in reaching out to him for any impediment, in case of any impediments, right? Or any help needed. And Scrum Master is supposed to work as a servant's leader. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following are the roles in a Scrum framework? Obviously, in a Scrum framework, we have different set of roles. So we can eliminate as we read out, right? Product owner, yes, it is there. Project manager, lead developer, business analyst. I think all these three, probably I haven't heard of these roles in a Scrum framework. So the right answer should be the first one, which is a product owner. There could be other roles as well, I'm sure you would be aware. So one is Scrum Master itself, right? And then development team, right? So yeah, I think out of these four options, this one is the correct one. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following best describes the approach for determining the sprint length? So how sprint length is determined? Because when we say it's 2 weeks a sprint, it's 3 weeks a sprint. So which of the following options best describe the approach for determining the sprint length? So it says a sprint should be always 30 days. The team determines the sprint length by dividing the total number of story points. That is like showing some sort of formula. Then we have a sprint should be always of 2 weeks. Then we say the team should agree on fixed length of the sprint of 1 month or less. Okay. So you can use the rule of elimination. So first one definitely doesn't make the right answer. Okay. Similarly, you can pick your answer and then we can see what is the right one. Let's see the right answer here. That is option D. The team should agree on fixed length of the sprint of 1 month or less. So ideally sprint duration is always 2 weeks or it is 3 weeks, right? If it is too long, I don't think it makes sense. So that is the right answer here. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What is the most important in all Scrum teams? Self-management, clear hierarchies, communication, or continuous improvement? Sort of these four, there are combinations of options out of 1, 2, 3, 4. So you need to tell whether option A, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, that is all of these options, or 1, 3, 4, that is 1, 3, 4. Which one is correct? I hope you understood the question. What is most important in all Scrum teams? Self-management. So you can see whether which one is not needed, right? And then you can guess the answer, and we'll see whether it's correct or not. Let's see the right answer now. So the right answer is self-management, communication, and then continuous improvement. Clear hierarchies, I think that is not really needed here, because in a Scrum we don't believe in hierarchies. Everyone is at the same level, right? It's all development team, and then we have different roles as Scrum Master, Product Owner. So we don't really have to have hierarchies, especially clear hierarchies, right? So option B is the right one. Let's move on. What should the developers do if product owner is repeatedly too busy to be available? Basically, so when product owner is not available because he is very busy, what can developers do? So there are 4 options. Continue the work, record assumptions, and ask customer later for input. Okay. The next one is send the customer a written warning that the end product will be completed on time but may not meet their needs. Okay, interesting. C, allow the business analyst to take on the role of proxy product owner. Right. The last one is draw the problem to the attention of the Scrum Master. So what do you think? I mean, if you are having any impediment, I mean, this is also kind of impediment, right? Or a problem, because you're not able to reach out to the product owner. What should you do? I think that is kind of a hint as well. So you can guess the right answer, and then we'll see what is the correct answer. So as I told you, it is a kind of impediment, right? And you know that for all impediments, who is supposed to be contacted? That is Scrum Master. So basically in this scenario also, you will draw this problem to the attention of the Scrum Master. Option D is the right answer here. Alright, let's move on to the next one. It says, which of these statements best describe the agile approach to teamwork? Which of these statements best describes the agile approach to teamwork? Okay. Alright, the team should plan to work overtime regularly throughout the project. Okay. The next option is the team should expect to work longer hours towards the end of the project in order to deliver all that was committed to. The next option is the team should strive for a sustainable pace that they can maintain potentially for a long time. The team will regularly need to work many hours overtime, but can compensate for this during period of less intensity. Okay, so I think if you look at these options carefully, you will figure out, that sustainable pace is something which is very important, right, for agile approach. So the right answer would be the option C. It says the team should strive for a sustainable pace that they can maintain potentially for a long time, right? Because it's not just for 1 or 2 sprints. When we talk about a project, it is like every sprint we need to follow the same approach. So I think that's why option C is the most correct answer here. Okay, so with that, I think that's all we have in this video. So I would like to thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and you can share with your friends and colleagues as well, those who are really planning to go for certification exam for Scrum Master. And I will prepare part 2 as well, which will again have more questions. So keep watching these videos, and please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out any such video. Okay, and thanks a lot again. Thank you.